As I'm sure you've already seen or at least heard about, Jon Ossoff went off on Trump 2 days ago during a campaign rally.
The sitting president's pronouncements on war and peace and economic policy delivered first to paying customers? What an absolute crook.
But the real story isn't the attack. It's what Ossoff's attacks brought out in Trump.
You're fake news. You're a loud, boisterous person. You're fake news. Be quiet. Be quiet.
I'm going to tell you why Trump was so badly triggered and why the only response that Trump and the White House could muster was to play dirty and resort to childish name-calling, profane rants, and to personally attack a CNN reporter for simply asking a question about what Jon Ossoff said. So why was Trump so triggered? Here's a hint. He has a severe psychiatric disorder. This condition is the same one that causes him to lie, cheat, steal, show no remorse. It causes him to be entitled, erratic, insensitive, and emotionally volatile. It's why he bullies, shames, exploits, and discards people. He has a complete lack of empathy and conscience. It's why he's ruthless and corrupt. It's why he believes he is above the law and why he abuses children. Trump, and by extension the White House, demonstrated some of these behaviors in their weak attempt to counterattack Jon Ossoff over the last 48 hours. 2028 presidential contender Jon Ossoff is running for Senate re-election in Georgia right now, and he is a legitimate electoral threat. He holds a commanding lead over his opponent, Republican Mike Collins, but much more than that. He represents everything Trump is not. He's young, handsome, intelligent, honest, and articulate. Trump knows this, and his mental disorder compels him to react in a predictable way. First, here's a clip of one of Jon Ossoff's best attacks during the campaign speech.
They've lied nonstop about this war like they lie about everything. And they know they're lying, but they lie and they keep lying anyway because in this White House, they view persistence in deceit as a virtue. You hear me, Atlanta? And there's something uniquely despicable about lying a nation into war. Treating citizens as fools and those who serve as pawns. Aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln, they've now been at sea for 240 plus days without a port call. It's a Navy record. And still they serve with excellence. And still they serve with excellence. God bless the sailors, Marines, aviators, and all aboard the United States ship Abraham Lincoln. See, they don't expect luxury. They'll endure hardship. But they deserve competent leaders who send them into combat only when necessary. And with decisive clarity of purpose, not fools who lie about the purpose and progress of war. And while the sailors on the Lincoln fight his war, while he fruitlessly drains our munitions and oil reserves, the president sleeps through his meetings. He golfs and trades stocks. See, he doesn't want to do the job. He wants to build his ballroom and travel with Natalie on their apparently defenseless flying palace gifted by the Emir of Qatar.
That's good stuff. That clip went viral on Sunday. Then yesterday, in the Oval Office, CNN reporter Kristen Holmes asks this question.
Yes, Jon Ossoff said you'd rather travel with your aide, Natalie Harp, and build the ballroom than do your job as president. What is your response, Jon Ossoff?
You mean Pee Wee Herman? Pee Wee Herman lookalike? No, I would much rather do other things. We're building a great facility here. We're fixing a White House that hasn't been taken care of. You can look at this. This room was a disgraceful situation, the Oval Office, and it was let go. The whole building, the White House, was let go. The exteriors were falling apart. The columns were falling apart. The whole place was a mess.
Okay, that's enough of that. Because of his psychiatric disorder, Trump instinctively resorts to bullying. He tries to insult Jon Ossoff by calling him Pee Wee Herman. And then he goes on for several minutes about the ballroom and ignores the Natalie Harp part of the question, which I'll get to in a minute. His predictable reaction is because of my mother-in-law recently reached Medicare age and she needed to pick a plan. She asked me, which plan should I pick? Well, I'm not a Medicare expert and I have no idea about all of the options available to her. So I told her to call my partner Chapter. In less than 20 minutes, Chapter walked her through all of her Medicare options, original Medicare, supplemental plans, Advantage plans, and Part D, so she could find a plan that actually fit her doctors, her prescriptions, and her budget. So I invite you to call 504-613-5925 and speak with a trusted, unbiased Medicare advisor today, like my mother-in-law did. True story. His predictable reaction is because of his emotional immaturity. He has a very low EQ, emotional intelligence, and he has no effective attack strategy against Ossoff. Trump has been doing this for months. At 2:11 a.m. on July 4th, just over a month ago, he was posting childish memes about Ossoff. He posted the same thing a few weeks later. These juvenile attacks are weak and ridiculous. He didn't just bully Ossoff in this exchange, though. He went after the reporter. When she tries to ask a follow-up question, Trump demeans and insults her to her face.
Mr. President,
just scale back on those.
Quiet. You're very disrespectful in front of this young man. Okay? Don't you find her disrespectful? He understands. Quiet. Who are you with?
I'm with CNN.
Fake news.
I
You're
just wanted
fake
to follow
news.
up on this up.
You're a loud, boisterous person. You're fake news.
I'm
Be
trying to
quiet.
find out if
Be
you had been
quiet.
talking
Be
to
quiet.
people who had asked you
You're a
to
fake
scale back
reporter, and you
on the
report fake
military
news.
exercises.
Go ahead.
What that is a domination tactic common in people with his same psychiatric disorder. He's entitled, he's ruthless, and he's emotionally volatile. The attack on the reporter didn't stop there. Again, just for simply asking a question, the White House took to Twitter, Kristen Holmes is a disgraceful, humiliating embarrassment to her profession. And someday your children will come across your disgusting and inhumane question. They will be sickened and embarrassed to have a parent so callous and vindictive. This tweet is callous and vindictive. As per usual, with this administration, every accusation is an admission. Back to that reporter's question about the ballroom and Natalie Harp. Trump completely ignores the Natalie Harp part of the question. Why did he ignore the Natalie Harp part of the question? Well, number one, he doesn't want her in the spotlight because he knows that too many questions might reveal the true nature of their relationship and whatever is going on between them after hours. If you want to know more about Natalie Harp, I made a full video explaining why she is so dangerous. You can check that out here. The number two reason that he doesn't want to talk about Natalie Harp is that he doesn't care about other people. He cares only about himself, his fragile image, and the things he's building with his name on it. In this case, it was the ballroom. His ego cannot tolerate any dissent. He needs to be known as a great builder and a great president. So he deflects from the original question and goes on and on about the ballroom. Like Jon Ossoff said, he's a lying, entitled, lazy crook who never takes accountability. So why is Trump like this? What is his psychiatric disorder? It's not just he has narcissism or he's a narcissist. He has the most severe form of malignant narcissistic personality disorder. It's a devastating psychiatric condition, and everyone should be talking about it. It's Trump's primary problem. We have a duty to say it because it's our president and the stakes are so high. By the way, it's exceptionally difficult for a medical professional to diagnose a person with narcissistic personality disorder. The reason it's so difficult is because people with this disorder don't think anything is wrong with them, so they don't go to mental health doctors. And the very few that do will lie and manipulate so they don't look like the bad guy. People have asked me if I'm diagnosing the president with this condition. The answer is no. I am not his doctor. I'm saying he has this condition, but it's up to his doctors to officially diagnose it. I also want to highlight the great question by Kristen Holmes of CNN. We are all counting on the press to bring this president down. Why is it up to the press? They are the only people that have direct access to Trump, and it's all about access. It's why the freedom of the press is so important. We need brave and skilled journalists with guts to step up. Kristen Holmes probably didn't realize her question would be so triggering. Democratic heavyweights like Jon Ossoff are in full campaign form, and they will be going after Trump hard. The lesson for every journalist watching that has access to the president: ask him what he thinks about their attacks. Thoughtfully craft your questions. Be specific. Anticipate his predictable responses. Call out his BS. Make him answer to his lies. Corner him. Expose him. Bring out his narcissistic rage. That's when he's at his most vulnerable. It's how he will bury himself. To the journalists who are brave enough, it's just like grade school. You have to stand up to the bully. Jon Ossoff also deserves some recognition for demonstrating how Democrats can attack Trump. One of Trump's defining characteristics is how corrupt he is. Listen to Jon Ossoff describe it. It's very well done.
And above all, Donald wants to get money. How much have you heard about the president's stock trading? When he first announced the tariffs, you remember that? He called it Liberation Day. And it crashed the markets because it was clown policy. You remember that? Okay, so follow me through on this. He announces the tariffs on April 2nd of last year. The markets tank nonstop for like a week because it's a disastrous trade policy. And 6 days into the crash, April 8th, Trump buys millions in stock. I'm talking Amazon, Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, Berkshire Hathaway. And then the very next morning, April 9th, he posts on Truth Social, quote, "This is a great time to buy." 3 exclamation marks. Okay, now listen to this. 3 hours and 41 minutes after that post, 1 day after he bought millions in stock, he canceled the tariffs and triggered one of the biggest same-day rebound rallies in market history. He's trying to get money. And you saw now he's offering paid subscriptions to presidential announcements, right? Just understand what's for sale here. The sitting president's pronouncements on war and peace and economic policy delivered first to paying customers? What an absolute crook.
In my view, this is the kind of candidate Democrats will need to win 2028. And if he keeps this up, I think he may be hard to beat. As I've said before, I'm going to keep hammering Trump on this, so be sure to subscribe to follow along as campaign season really gets going. Thank you to our new and existing members. Come say hi to me over on Blue Sky. Take care. I'll see you soon.